Hello, Internet, and boo! Happy Halloween for the Parallax podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Monster Punter.
That was such a stupid intro. It had to happen on Halloween, so.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
But hey, you know, gotta get some spooky stuff in once in a while. So, yeah. So this is the Parallax podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. So, how's your week been?
It's not been too bad. I've been playing a lot more Metaphor ReFantazio. I just before recording, I started playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, all I was able to really do is make my character and go through the very first scene, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I don't really have an opinion on the game yet, other than to say it's pretty.
Did you decide to go dual blades this time again?
He says again like it's expected.
It is expected. You pretty much dual blade every single one.
I do, but I do play other weapons. I'm not like a certain
right.
person.
Yeah. No. Okay. We're not going to throw any of our friends under the bus. We know, but
it's fine. We'll throw them under a tricycle. Like at least I play some other weapons, but typically it's the go-to. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Okay, so the shade was thrown. You know who you are, but
we love you. We really do.
You can deal with Monster when you see him in person.
Yeah. But please play a different weapon.
I started out. Take a moment, do a little flashback here. I started off playing Monster Hunter with the gun lance of all weapons, and then I moved on to what? It's very me, yeah. And then I moved on to the great sword. And,
it's very you.
Yeah, and then I started kind of branching out. I did bow, and I kind of became versatile as a weapon user, because most of the people I hunted with were very. Don't mean to say this in a bad way, very stagnant in what they chose as weapons. Very static. This is what you had, this is what you did. So I tried to fill in the gaps wherever possible. But lately, especially for the past, ever since Worlds, it started, but then it definitely in Rise kind of took off. I've gotten used to charge blades. And that's such an awesome weapon.
Yeah. Oh, and So you should know that you can turn off the Palico voices.
Okay.
You can go back to the traditional Palico noises. And in
Good.
the cutscenes, they make those noises and you just get... Well, it's all subtitled anyway if you want it to be, but...
Right. Good, because I don't like the concept of, hey, how you doing? I'm your Palico. I'm gonna go fight monsters with you, okay? Cool.
So if anybody wants to, fight with me, at least the way the videos I've seen and everything of it so far, and I haven't gotten far enough in it myself, but it's kind of like they put some MMO elements in it, insofar as to say there's tons of other players around you, but I don't know if they are with you. Like when you're out hunting, I don't know enough about it yet to say anything definitive. But at least what it looks like when you're in more like a hub-like area, you see all the other players, and you can and the lobbies are up to 100 players.
I mean, they were kind of doing that with World, where you can start to see people around. Definitely in the hubs always, but like I remember they were trying to get that so you could like walk around town and see other hunters too. So
I just know that right now I'm too early in to know for sure, but it's if that's what happens, then cool. I'm not opposed to it. The idea of getting a party together and playing, I wonder how that will affect that. With the players being together like that, but
and this one is crossplay, right?
It is entirely crossplay, so it doesn't matter what you're playing on. You can play with your friends, and
that sounds awesome.
So I that's where the video game industry in general is going, where it doesn't matter what you have, you can play with who you want. And
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. I I don't want to throw shade at PC players. I'm not trying to, but what I just wonder how much how effective the anti-cheat is going to be for Monster Hunter, because it's much more difficult to hack a console game versus a PC game, and do things in it. In fact, there was a big controversy about Monster Hunter World lately, where there was some people who were hacking it. So
It's such a dumb thing. Like, you can, I'm all for modding games, but not hacking them.
and there's
Like,
some mods. Okay, so I'm not against mods. But there are mods that I look at and I'm like, seriously, you're defeating the whole purpose of the game. I guess if you're having fun, whatever. But
Right.
like, my nephew didn't buy a mod, but he downloaded a mod that for Monster Hunter World, where he could cut off a tail with one swing. Doesn't matter what weapon. And I'm like, thinking to myself, why would you do that? That takes the whole game out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a massive level of satisfaction when you see the tail get chopped off,
Yeah.
because you know you've done enough damage to earn that.
But yeah, I'm getting off on
yeah.
tangents here.
Oh, no,
Suffice it to say, so far, Monster Hunter Wild seems like it's going to be really good. I have another friend who already has been playing it a bit, and he seems to think it's he has high praise already for it. So
Okay, cool.
as of recording, only PlayStation players can play right now. By the time this is released, it should be available for everybody on all the systems. I definitely suggest everybody go take a look at it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to. Like, I want to stay in the dark on this one until the game releases.
Well, like previous demos that they've released, there's two things that you can do. One, your creative character will transfer into the new game. So you may want to get that set up, make sure you have your name and all that kind of stuff that you want. Number two is you do get rewards. You don't get to carry over your gear or things like that, but you do get rewards that will transfer into the base game upon release.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll have to find a way to make that happen. So, all right. Well, is that all you've been playing this week?
Metaphor Refantasio, and that game, I did play 20XX a bit since I downloaded it the other day.
And?
I died in kind of a stupid way, to be honest with you. It wasn't very satisfying the way I died. It was just like,
Yep.
it was a bit of platforming section where I was falling, but where it was putting me before I was falling, I didn't really have much of a chance to latch on to anything. But that being said, I defeated 4 of the masters like right away.
Oh, cool.
On my first playthrough. So I thought, like, generally speaking, I did fairly well.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest thing you need to do is find armor upgrades.
I was taking power upgrades.
I mean, you can take power upgrades, but armor upgrades, they really start doing some cool stuff. And it got to a point where my challenge for 20XDX was trying to get a full set, because it's almost impossible to get a full set.
Okay.
Like, I'll get pieces of every other armor set, and then I'll be this weird looking robot. But my powers are cool. But yeah, if you get the full armor set, there's also another bonus for each separate set. So,
and this is going to sound like a very strange criticism, and I don't know how to make it sound good, and it's not really that big of a deal either. But the graphics are just too smooth. I would have I would have liked it better if it was more like more of a pixel based shooter, but either way it's still good. I can't complain. I also did get Mech Warrior 5 Clans. Now I love the BattleTech universe. I love the Mech Warrior games. This one is really good. I just have one problem with it,
Hmm.
and that's because you are clanners. Um,
Filthy clanners.
yeah, it feels bad to play as clan,
Yeah, but there's people
and
who love playing as clans,
I
so.
know, but those people aren't me. Um, so, but the presentation's been increased tremendously. The story seems like it's going to be pretty good so far. It starts from one of the most pivotal points in the whole BattleTech universe. It's the clan invasion. It's the second most popular time period in BattleTech, right behind the Forced Succession War, which happens immediately preceding the clan invasion. Uh, and the graphics are done way better. They went to Unreal Engine 5, and they've done
Oh,
a pretty
wow.
nice job. For a studio that doesn't have the budget for AAA, really, I wouldn't say they've made a
Mhm.
game that definitely feels AAA. And you
Oh,
could tell
cool.
it's not, you could tell it's not AAA, but it's like close enough to where everything's really good.
Well, you know how
Um,
I feel about that. If it's not AAA, it's probably good. Uh, it has a better,
well,
or it has a better chance of being good. I'll say that.
okay, well, I think there's plenty of good AAA games out there, but
I think there are too, but I just think that there's way more garbage than there is good
well,
comparatively.
then I think we need to start, correcting that, Matt, and having you play some of these games here.
I've been playing games.
Yeah,
In
no
fact, I've been
AAA.
playing a bunch of games this week.
Oh yeah, what did you? That's literally that's the most variety in video games I've played in a week in a while. By the way,
Wow.
so
So I got to get these out of the way. I played some really cool demos. I was like, I'm gonna give these a shot because I have them. I want to see if they're the games are actually gonna be worth it. There's one I played recently that I think you might like.
which
Is a
is
It's a platformer that's called Declines Drops, and you play as a girl with these blue boxing gloves on, and it's very cartoony. The graphics are beautiful. It's very smooth animation, but the combat style reminds me of Smash Brothers.
okay.
Like
Is
you
it a
have your
fighting game then?
no, it's a platformer. You fight each enemy like it's a Smash opponent. It's kind of cool.
Well, I'd be willing to at least look at it.
Yeah, it's called Declines Drops.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see here. I'm bringing up my Steam real quick. I played Flob and the Shattered Dimension. Interesting puzzle platformer. Definitely gave me a very Celeste vibe with some of the movement because you're literally bouncing. You're this blob guy who's moving between dimensional rifts, like he's swimming in them to try and get through a level.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I also played a game called To Kill a God. And
Okay.
I'll explain this so that you get this, Monster. I don't know if anyone else will get this, but I'm going to explain it so you get it. Your world map, where you choose to go in the game, is the Path of Exile skill tree.
It's been a while since I played Path of Exile, but if it's
But you know the skill tree. You know how massive that thing is, right?
yeah.
Okay. Each node gives you power-ups based off clearing the room, because they're each node is a room, and some of them will give you actual powers and some of them will give you buffs, and some of them come with challenges based off that, but you can't progress further into certain rooms until you connect the nodes.
Okay.
It's really well done. My only
Okay.
complaint about the game is I don't like the way the main character runs. He runs stupid.
I've
So if they-
been there.
Yeah, I mean, if they can fix that animation, game's awesome.
Although
that was just
sometimes the jank is welcome.
You're a bow user, and he holds the bow really, really weird,
Okay.
and so it's hard to like justify it. But beyond that, I actually got back into my card shop. And
No, that's
thankfully,
good. I didn't know you were locked out.
well, I had to stop because of the demonic possessions that I told you about last week.
Oh, okay.
But apparently there were 2 updates since our recording, and they finally got rid of the demonic possession. So I was able to run my store again, and yeah, I'm having fun again. It's a nice game, nice chill game. And I've been working on Unicorn Overlord. I finally got. I think I am 96% of the way through the world map.
Okay, so you're a lot. You're through a lot of the angel area, right?
Yes. In fact, I have pretty much, from what I'm assuming, I think I have all but one angel character now.
Okay.
In fact, I made them a unit, and they're awesome.
You did.
Dude, they're awesome. That guy with the shield, the big angel. Oh man,
yeah, he's pretty good.
He's awesome.
He's pretty good.
Here's what makes it tough is because when you know this guy's backstory, you're given 2 choices. Your choices are to either heal him because he's been gravely wounded. You either heal him, i.e., recruit him, or you stand there and watch him die. That's your other option. That was a tough decision to make because of knowing what happened to him in the backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, you could have peace, or you could put people into pieces. I don't know, So I took him because I want to have everybody. But I think if I was to play the game through again, I might actually be selective of what characters I take.
There's a lot of characters you can get, and
I'll say this: the not the first rogue you get, the second one, the optional one.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would, but I actually like him.
He redeems himself. He really does.
He has a massive redemption arc if you spare him, and I'm like, wow, I actually like you.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would.
Eventually get his sister.
That's awesome. I haven't got that yet.
Oh, you should have. She's the Griffin rider.
That's not his sister.
I thought it was his sister.
Not his sister.
The one with the blonde hair.
Yeah, that's not his sister.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he talks about his sister still.
Okay.
But
well.
no, I have her, and I have the bow guy.
Okay.
And they're in a unit.
You make story units. That's all you do, right?
I do, and dude, they're awesome. The Drakenhold unit is disgusting. Like
So who's in it though? I mean, like,
okay, so
there's more than 5 units you get out of Drakenhold.
It's kind of hard for me to say that the fencer is part of Drakenhold. Like, she is, but she also isn't. Like, she's connected to Virginia. That's how I see it. But I have Hilda, the Wyvern Rider.
Okay.
Her sister Prim.
Okay.
I have Gloucester, the Dark Knight.
Yep. Okay.
I have Gilbert, the Prince.
Okay.
And then I have Aramis.
Okay, I was wondering if you're going to put the brothers together. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. So it's like,
so you did a desert. You did the desert squad then as a separate Drakenhold unit then.
No, actually I haven't even done that. They're separated.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I should have put them together, but no, they're separate units. But yeah, no, that unit is disgusting. It's probably my highest level unit because it just runs around and murders everything.
Okay.
And my other like super powerful unit is Lex and Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
Ak, the sorcerer. Albin, the desert guy. The merc.
Okay. Yep. The first merc you get.
Yep, and I put Selvi in there, the shaman.
Interesting,
dude. They're gross. They're so gross.
I know we're getting a little bit off on, and
I
don't
absolutely.
know how much people want to listen to like detailed stuff.
It's a fun Halloween episode, and we're just
Overlord.
talking about cool stuff. But yeah.
But if you can get her enough, not
AP,
yeah, she can use Sandstorm. Oh my gosh, it's pretty disgusting.
I don't even do that. I have her do the cursed swamp ability, and then she has fire curse, and she just keeps spamming fire curse, and they just take so much damage.
Okay.
So yeah, no, the game's fun, absolutely, and I managed to beat the Coliseum lady.
Yeah.
She is level 40 when you get her.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, you told me she was like 20 something. I was like, okay.
No. I said I was trying to climb up, and I was beating people in the 30s that were while I was in level 20 something.
Okay, I misunderstood you.
I was overperforming in the Coliseum.
Gotcha. Well, I do understand one thing. I don't know if I'm going to fully complete this game. At least in this sitting. Them fights after are scary looking.
You can platinum it without doing all that stuff.
Oh, I'm not worried about platinuming. I'm talking about 100%ing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to because those guys look scary.
Yeah, there's like a whole nother 40 fights to go through. It's crazy.
Yeah. And one last thing I'll leave on Unicorn Overlord. The blacksmith completely reduces the point of having weapons. He makes any weapon, whatever rank it is, the most powerful weapon it can be.
Yeah. Yep.
So it doesn't matter. At that point, you're literally looking at
you have to have the materials for it, though.
Yeah, it's 1 Fevrite and 50 honor. Not that hard to get. And so I'm just looking at this stuff and I'm like, there's literally no point. Like you just pick weapons that have the best buffs. Passive buffs, more power to you. If you want a cool skill, you can go them that way. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what weapon you use. So I guess in a sense that's cool, but also at the same time it's like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose.
It's how much do you want to min-max?
Yeah, true. That's true. But so that's been gaming. That's we've spent way too much time today talking about gaming, but that's just you know what? It's just proof how passionate we are about our games. If you questioned us on how passionate we are about what we play, what we do, we're passionate. Yeah.
Passionate.
Yeah. So let's get on to comments because, like I said last time, we didn't have between release of the previous episode and the recording of the next one, there wasn't time for anybody to put comments out. But we did some comments. We got 2 more, and I'm going to read them. We'll do the short one first. That's from that one dude, constant loyal commenter,
of which we are very thankful.
Oh, absolutely. We're so grateful when you guys talk to us. It makes us like feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one dude says, I would highly recommend playing UFO 50 if you get the chance. It's a collection of 50 different indie games by 6 indie developers, and it has a lot of variety. It's one of my favorite games to come out this year. It looks cool. It does. I mean, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, UFO 50. Is it only on Steam?
I don't know. I have not looked up. You could look up if you want.
UFO 50.
Yep. It's all together. There's no space. So yeah, no, it sounds cool. It looks cool. Yeah, thank you for that comment. And our next comment comes from Tom. Now I know Tom. Tom, I know you posted this one on 2 different episodes. It's okay. I did see it the first time, but I'm glad you made sure I got it. So here we go. I'm gonna read it for you. Hi, Metroidvania. Like the name, but I think somebody else has it. So I can't take it. I am wondering if you have ever tried any of the East series games because I know you are a fan of Zelda. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. East, right? I've always said it like
East.
that.
It's the YS. It's East.
Yeah, okay. I always thought it was as a kid, but
I called it Wise as a kid.
I mean, I can understand that too.
Yeah.
East is very similar, but has better combat and story while still having a killer rock and metal soundtrack. East X Nordics is about to come out on PS5, and it has a free 10-hour demo. East 7 Lacrimasa of Dana, East 9 Monstrum Nox, East Origins, and East 4 Calceta are all excellent games and relatively new, releasing on the PS4 and or 5. East 7 Lacrimasa tends to be the most popular one for good reason. If you have not played them, I double dog dare you to check them out and tell us what you think of them. Well, this might come as a shock to you, but yes, I have played an East game. In fact, my favorite one is East 3 for the Super Nintendo.
Have you played any of the recent ones?
No. I've seen them. I haven't played them. But
okay.
East 3, there's something magical about that game for me. I love it. It's fully 2D. It's got a little bit of platforming, but it's really more about how you fight stuff. It's about your combat style that really matters. And the monsters are cool, the music is cool, and yeah, I just really like it. So
well, I mean, they got rid of the run into monster gameplay by then, right?
With East 3, yeah, you're definitely like it's all on the field. There's no separate menu to go into.
No, I'm just saying in the original E's, like in order to kill monsters, you just basically ran into them.
Oh yeah, dude. So you saying that reminds me. It took me a while to love this game. I'll admit that. It took me a while to love this game, but one of my favorite games that I had for the Game Gear, the Sega Game Gear, is called Dragon Crystal. And the only way you could kill things was by walking into them.
That's literally the gameplay.
Yeah. But it was so much fun.
Okay.
The game was so much fun. So anyhow, I also had a very limited library on the Game Gear, so that might be part of it. I did have Sonic though.
There you go.
Yeah. So I did have a Sonic game as a child. But yeah, that's it. That's our comments. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you, and we appreciate what you guys have to say. Again, you guys got anything else you want to tell us? Any other questions, comments, whatever? Tell us in the comments down below, and we will read it. We've been doing that.
Just following up on something we talked about there.
Yeah.
It looks like UFO 50 is only on PC right now.
Okay. Well, that's still not a terrible thing. You know, like it's got to start somewhere, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Cool.
And if it's successful enough, I'm sure you'll probably see it on many other things.
Yeah. So, cool. Awesome. Yeah, definitely have to look forward to checking that out, and see what kind of trouble I can get into with it, right? But yeah. Again, if you guys post a comment, we're gonna read it. Up until like you guys get to like 10, then I think we're gonna start picking. because unless you guys want us to keep going for like a 3-hour podcast where we just talk about your comments and then get to the news, we're going to start picking at that point. But that's further down the road, so that's a problem for future us.
Yep.
Oh, and what a problem it will be.
It'd be a good problem.
Oh, it'll be a great problem. So, yeah, we're going to try and... We're not going to try. I am going to get this out. I'm going to make it like my life's dedication to try and get this out either on or before Halloween. Okay? Because it's spooky season, and we got some scary stories to talk about. But I have one thing I want to share before that, and it's probably super... No, it is super awesome. I don't know why I'm second-guessing myself on that. It is super awesome. So when Halloween happens, I'm going to be helping out my family with the candy for a little bit, and then eventually I'm going to abandon them because I'm going to be spending my entire Halloween night playing one game and loving every single awesome bloody moment.
Hold on a second. Let me think. What game are we talking about here? Hello Kitty.
No, but that is terrifying.
Never changes her expression.
Do you know that she's apparently supposed to be a little girl, not a cat? Yep.
That makes it even more strange. But
absolutely. No, I am going to be whipping monsters in Vampire Survivors. October 31st is the official Ode to Castlevania DLC for Vampire Survivors.
Okay.
I am so excited. Here's how excited I am. I looked at the post on Steam, and I looked at the characters they showed that you could unlock. There's over 20.
Oh.
And I know how much love they put into this game by one simple fact. Grant Dynasty and Hector from Curse of Darkness are playable characters.
Okay.
Two of the most underrated Castlevania characters in the Castlevania community are playable. And the level is the biggest level yet in the game. And it has like all the bosses. Like so many iconic bosses you have to fight. And you get to explore and I've just got so much fun. It's so much fun. But
well, yeah. I hope you do have a lot of fun with it.
Oh, I am. Like when I saw the announcement, I literally sat here like a stupid little kid just clapping my hands like, yay. So
well, you have to record it then.
Oh gosh, do I?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to have to like put on my show face, you know?
Then don't.
Man, yeah. You don't know how this works, buddy.
Probably not, but
yeah.
You know.
But so I'm excited for this game, and I'm excited for the future of this game because of this. And I love getting some Castlevania love out there. I just love that stuff. So, I have 3 stories, and I kind of took the forerunner on these. I have one good news story, one very, I'd say it's good news, but it's also scary news, and then one sadly scary story. So let's start with, let's start with the good scary, because you talked about this already.
Okay.
All right. Monster Hunter Wilds is the latest game to feature an arachnophobia assistance option. Now, all my stories today come from the Video Game Chronicle. This is an amazing website. I'll probably be getting most of my stories from here in the future, just so you know.
It's way better than...
It's way better than everything else.
It really is. I mean, yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. If you want, like, actual gaming news with a focus on news...
they're good to go to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what's... apparently within the game's options, the accessibility options, there is a feature called Arachnophobia Assistance. And according to the description, turning it on adjusts the appearance of multi-legged creatures such as arachnids, insect-like small monsters, and endemic life. And what it does is it puts them into a giant blob state. Yeah. I don't know if they're all going to look like this one blob, but there is a screenshot. Very interesting. I like that it's there. Now, as someone who has suffered through most of his childhood with like severe arachnophobia, and it's now very acute arachnophobia at this point, I like this feature because as a kid, I didn't want anything to do with spiders, and this gives people... It's another avenue to get people into playing your game. You're overcoming hurdles that people have so that they can play your game. I love it. I think this is great. I know Grounded did this. The Honey, We Shrunk the Kids game. It turned them into like weird blocky creatures, which I thought were actually more terrifying than the spiders themselves. But I like the fact that they did this, and we'll see what happens going forward. But I love that a lot of games are starting to take this kind of feature of, hey, something we do in the game has a severe phobia for people, we are going to put in an option to kind of replace or change the option. Some of the options they mention in is like people who have a fear of drowning. Like Horizon Forbidden West turned off the ability to drown, so you could go in the water, just swim. And Sea of Thieves has an auto float option, so if you get thrown off your boat, it automatically pop up like a bobber in the water.
Far be it from me to knock any game for putting in accessibility options, because I'm for accessibility options.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't, even if I was an arachnophobia, I just, if I suffered from it, arachnophobe there, thank you.
You're welcome.
I couldn't see myself turning this on. I'll tell you what, you tell me what it's like when there's eventually like a fast skittering spider and it's a blob that just like doesn't look like it should be booking it like it is. And just
that might also be
across
scary. Yeah.
I'm just saying that when that happens, like, it's gonna be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. No, I can understand that too. We'll see what happens. I think it's actually in the demo, so you might want to check that out. Just see what it looks like.
Maybe it would be for not my first time through though. So.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, if you're going through the demo again, you're like, I'm just gonna check an area, turn it on, see what the spider creatures look like, just to see. But I like it. I think it's a cool idea. So more power to you guys. All right, let's do the good news. I want to hit some good news.
Okay.
Or should I say, what? Let me get your input since we're doing this live. Should I save the good news first, or should I do the scary, sad news first?
I think it's Halloween. You end with the scary, sad news.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of would normally like to end on a good note, but I think this time we're gonna get spooky. All right, so good news. SAG-AFTRA, the Actors Union. We've talked about them before in the podcast. Because they have an effect on voice actors and the video game market because of this. Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, has signed an agreement with Ethelvox, which is a AI company that is formed and created by actors to give other voice actors the opportunity to use use AI to use their voices in projects, and they get compensated fairly.
Okay.
Did that make sense? Did I say that right?
Essentially, they're going to get paid for their likeness. That's
right. There's a model that they have in place that's consensual. That we get to put your voice in projects, and because of that, we get to give you money. I like that. And it's not like it's being forced on people. It's not it's not a bad idea, especially because AI is, whether people want it, like it or not, AI is going to become a major part of our society. It's going to be in video games. It's going to be in your art, your music. It's already out there. So it's just another progression of technology, and people just need to not fight against it, but find ways to make it fair for everyone. And this is the first step. So
we'll certainly see what happens with it, but I'll just say this much. I don't like the idea that they how do I put it, like, not putting aside the whole SAG-AFTRA thing, just AI in general. They've trained this AI on data from all over the place, and I think we'll see. I mean, AI is here to stay, I think, but in the form that it is, we'll see. I have my doubts because, like,
okay, without getting on a soapbox, the concept of AIs right now, I feel, is like firearms. Like, I'm not opposed to people using firearms, but I do believe there needs to be regulation and control on how it's used.
Well, I'm just saying that the way they've gotten some of the information to train their data has been suspect in my opinion, in a lot of cases.
Well, and but the one thing you have to understand is it's not every AI company is doing it this way.
Sure.
So that's why I think they signed the deal with Ethelvox, is because those people are not doing it that way.
That's a more ethical way of doing it. I don't mind it so much.
Exactly. So, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens going forward, but it's just something we need to be prepared for.
All right. So before you get to your last story,
yeah, absolutely.
I have there's something, if you want to get a system for cheaper this holiday season. One, I think the Xbox will be heavily discounted because of how far behind the PlayStation 5 they are in sales. But if you're looking for a PS5, an option you may want to explore this holiday season is picking up a refurbished unit. Sony's been refurbishing units as they've gone bad over the time, and it looks like you're going to be able to get a disc model for $400. So if you want to save $100 on a PS5 this upcoming holiday season, that might be the way you want to do it. And the digital version looks like it's going to be going for $350, but
yeah.
Here's
the thing to keep in mind, folks, and this is an idea people need to get out of their heads, sorry, my idea you need to put in your heads. The other idea you need to get out of your heads. But the concept that, it's refurbished, it's bad. If it works and does the thing it's supposed to do, who cares?
I think a refurbished unit in some respects is even it's not better than new, but someone's taken a look at it, so... Yeah,
someone has looked at it and fixed it, yeah. Exactly. So just calm it down with your, mine's brand new. No one cares.
I've bought refurbished systems before, and then I haven't had a problem. So
yeah,
I'm just saying this is a good way to look at getting one this holiday
I bought refurbished
season.
Cars. I mean, it's
refurbished, certified pre-owned, sir. Certified pre-owned.
I like calling them refurbished. It's better. All right, time for the final story. It's a sad story, and it's scary because Sony doesn't understand what they're doing.
I think I know where you're going.
So, we talked about this before. We talked about how Concord lasted, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Concord lasted 2 weeks, and so what does Sony do? They close the studio. They closed Firewalk.
I think if they had made a single player game out of that cast, they had personalities in there, I think it could have worked. And I'll say it again, the trailer had me interested up until the point where they were like, yeah, this is Overwatch. It's like,
exactly. Once I heard what it was, I was like, I'm immediately not interested.
Yeah, but the way they were building the characters and everything in those cutscenes and everything, I was like, this could be kind of cool. I'm interested, and I wish that they were given the ability to make that game. Now I realize it probably would take a lot of resources and things like that to try to save that franchise. And a new franchise like that, is it really worth even saving in the first place? But I just feel like there was something there. They had some magic going. They just decided to put all their they were like, we have awesome magic, and they maxed out their magic stat and then decided to take a sword into battle. I just don't know how else to put it.
This is this is one of those scenarios where I feel Sony is fully to blame for how bad this game failed, and the fact that they're not getting punished for that, because instead they could just shrug it off and close down the studio. It's just kind of, I don't know, bad form, bad taste. But that's not all. So the final message that they sent, the Firewalk sent off, it's weird. it sounds like I'm going to read it to you, but it sounds like they put this message out, but it's also their resume. And at the same time, it's also wasn't our fault. So that's the feeling I get from reading it. I'll read it to you. You tell me. Firewalk is signing off one last time. Firewalk began with the idea of bringing the joy of multiplayer to a larger audience. Along the way, we assembled an incredible team who were able to, and these are bullet points, navigate growing a new startup into a team during a global pandemic. Firewalk was founded in 2018 and was very small for its first couple years, only entering full production in 2022. Build a new, customized next-generation FPS engine in Unreal 4 to 5, delivering top-tier gameplay feel, beautiful worlds, and a performant 60 FPS technical experience on a stable and scalable back-end on PS5 and PC to hundreds of thousands of players in our beta. Manage an acquisition/integration while readying technical and preliminary tests. And ultimately ship and deliver a great FPS experience to players, even if it landed much more narrowly than hoped against a heavily constellated market. We took some risks along the way, marrying aspects of card battlers and fighting games with first-person shooters. And although some of these and other aspects of the IP didn't land as we hoped, the idea of putting new things into the world is critical to pushing the medium forward. The talented Firewalk and the level of individual craft is truly world-class, and teams within Sony Interactive Entertainment and across the industry will be fortunate to work with them. Please reach out to recruiting at PlayStation for inquiries, and thank you to all the very many teams, partners, and fans who support us along the way. See you in the Tempest, Firewalk Studios.
So, yeah, it kind of reads like a resume. As you started to read it, I'm like, this is bad. And then by the end, I'm thinking, you know what? Honestly, I think it's a good last post. You want to give your people the best opportunity going forward. And
right.
I think a post like that it's sad, but it also
you're trying to set up your team for success.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very selfless kind of post, and I think that it should be modeled after going forward. Just initial gut reaction, really, to the piece. I hate it and love it at the same time.
Yeah, and it's a weird message, but it also kind of works. But yeah, it's sad that they're the ones who have to take the brunt of this and that they're getting shut down. They're also not the only ones. Sony also announced that they're closing Neon Koi, mobile game developer formerly known as Savage Game Studios, which it bought in 2022.
Jeez.
Sony's just making bad moves. I feel like at this point the industry is starting to make bad moves. Xbox has been making bad moves. Sony's been making bad moves. Nintendo's been making bad moves. We might be in for a rough patch here.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the name of a new dance game. Bad moves.
Yeah. Where you have to hit the opposite of the button.
There you go.
Yeah, bad moves. You have to dance poorly.
The
lower the grade you get, the better you are.
And then it culminates in going to the Olympics for the breakdance. Never mind, it's a bad joke.
Oh, that was a bad joke, yeah. Especially because that joke was almost as bad as her routine, all right?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Gee.
Jeez. Well, enough talking about that stuff. Yeah, this is kind of just some tough news to swallow. I don't know. That's kind of the truly scary thing this year is the future of the gaming industry does not look pretty. It looks like we're entering a rough patch, and that's scary.
Maybe I think there's enough creativity. I think small studios are able to survive a lot easier. and you're seeing a lot more smaller scale projects nowadays. I think
this
at
is
the end of
definitely
the day,
yeah.
I think at the end of the day, the video game industry is going to be just fine. And
I think we're going to see a resurgence in the indie developers. Absolutely. Like I think that tide is going to get higher, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. But
yeah.
Oh well. So if you're hearing this on Halloween, happy Halloween. Be safe out there. Make sure you have some fun, get some candy, and play some video games. Definitely play some video games. And until next time, have yourselves a fantastic week. Have an awesome time playing your video games. We'll see you in the next one.
Take care.
Later.